All right, I wanted to talk about the Season 4 units being Fuegoleon, Jack, and Charlotte, all Clover Academy teachers. I'd say that Fuego's design, I'm just going to talk about designs for a little bit. Fuego's isn't the best, but animations do go pretty hard. Jack is my favorite design, favorite animations by far. And Charlotte overall has a really good design, and they did her animations beautifully. I love the blue and green that they went for her. So overall, three pretty nice units. I think Fuego is lacking, but still decent. I feel like we could have had better releases, but hey, I digress for now. I want to talk about these units. I think that this is probably the most solid release or season that we've had. Season 2 was probably a very good for only Noel. So it was like Noel was like wow, and then the other two were like okay, and then you got season 3 that was like meh meh, and then Charmy was like just annoying, but she was just in turn a better version of Kohono. So overall, it was a worthless season, right? So we went for that month a worthless season because like if you had Kohono or you just pulled her in unfeatured, why would you need Charmy, right? But of course she was free. Charmy is free because you could pick her. So, overall that was fine. Now season 4, let's talk about the units. I think I've gotten a good grasp of Fuego, a good grasp of Jack and Charlotte too, but I'm gonna be doing more showcases or a showcase on her since I haven't done any showcases on her yet. So that is to be coming soon. Now, let's talk about Fuego. Fuego is basically just a barrier removal or dispel barrier unit on his skill 2 and his ultimate. He dispels barriers. Right now, he applies burn on his skill 1 and his skill 2 only. His, very weirdly enough, ultimate removes the barriers AoE. Now with his skill page he gets a 2 burns once on one skill, which is fine. Now the problem is I don't really see why you should be using other burn units, because the other burn units are not anything crazy. You should not be using Fauna. I don't think she's that good. If you need someone to do damage, choose someone who does like single target damage instead for their role, right? I think that Noelle does enough AoE, and I personally don't think Fauna for PvP at the moment is that crazy, right? So he doesn't really have anyone to put other burns, and it doesn't really help him not having someone else who's not a good burner. So hopefully Mario comes out soon, but nah, I don't think she will. Anyway, Dispel Barriers is very strong. I don't like that it's only when there's a burn on, but it's fine. It's just the way you would use this one is just a bit weird. But anyway, let's talk about the main part of his kit. Now, the ult AoE dispels all barriers on opponents, and in turn that goes very well with his speed being 103, as he will be attacking after all barrier units have placed their barriers. If we go to character stats, let's just have this at the end for speed, right? We've got, where is it? So Rades is at 107, so he's like around here. Then you've got Noel and Kohono, who are both quicker than Fuego, right? No, Kohono at 104, Noel at 106, Rades at 107. All three of them are quicker, so those are the three barrier units that you see most of the time. You do not see the SR Noel usually. And because of that, you're able to AoE ult and remove all the barriers on the enemy team. And you do that before you attack, so you're able to do your AoE attack after the barriers are removed, which makes this a very useful ability. And I actually do like him. Now, what I do not like is the rest of his kit. Yes, this is very strong, but I think just in general, his design was very poorly made with the current meta, and I think they found themselves in a very bad spot with burns because of how sporadically they release and just how they don't really have a burner support in the way of I don't know, like spreading or something like that. Maybe a type of Kafka release would have been nice, which was what Jack was supposed to be. But why I'm saying this is that there's not many good burn units, right? They have 4 burn units, and only Fauna's ever been good. Leopold, not been used because of his low HP and just pretty mad damage. Fuego has just been shit. Only time you would maybe use him was in the first 2 weeks with Nozel. And then Fauna, well, Noel came out very quickly after, so, not much to say there. I don't think Fauna was ever that crazy for PvP, but for PvE, she's amazing. But for PvP-wise only, let's talk about that. He has no partners. You can't put a burn DPS with Fuego because that's 2 units who won't be doing anything crazy, and you might need a support on that team. You might need a speed unit on that team. You will need Noel most likely on that team, and if you want to bring Julius too, you can't just bring Fauna too, right? So this part of his kit sucks. basically, depending on how many burn stacks you're going to be doing more damage, it displays as a incapacitate debuff that stays on them, or like applies for the, it's basically just an application for the attack, so you will not see the debuff applied. If it was like counting even after just this attack, it will be crazy. But depending on if you have 1, 2, or 3 burn stacks, you will do 20% more damage, 75% more damage for the ult, or 220% more damage respectively on the ultimate. And this would be crazy if you could even fucking get to it, right? Because you can't. Like right now you can't. It's not like doable unless you really get Fauna in. And the other problem is Fauna she needs her skill page to even get it on the skill 2, and if not, it's only on the skill 1, and it's not even a 100% chance, I believe, to get that burn activation. Where's Fauna? It is a 60% chance, and then here it's 50 AoE, but you need the skill page. So I think that he doesn't really have any good burning partners to be able to get this 3 stacks of burn, like a lot, and you could only get 2 stacks with him if you have the skill page, right? Now, even with like 2 stacks, I feel like I don't do much damage with his ult. That's the only thing I don't like. But overall, I think he's very good. Now, you got to consider him having low speed can be a detriment, except for the fact that he has the Lich passive where he gets immortality for 1 turn under 30% HP, which makes it so that he will get his ult off and at least dispel the barriers. I wish he did damage, but he does his role fine. His role is to dispel barriers, and he does it. And he's going to be able to do it because of his low speed in combination. Low speed, I'm saying like these... Listen, high speed and low speed. There's only high speed and low speed in this game, right? There's no middle in my eyes, right? You've got, like, for DPS wise, you've got Asta, Noel, and Julius. High speed is anything above 103. Low speed is 103. Okay, that's how I see it in my brain. Now, the immortality combined with the speed makes it very good, and it's a very nice combo that lets you dispel barriers and do his role. So overall, this unit is a W in my books. I think he does what he wants to do, and that's it. That's it, right? Like, Fuego is good enough. He does what he wants to do. He's not breaking meta. He's not doing anything crazy, but he could be a fun addition if you're annoyed of shield metas, or you want to get games over with very quickly. He could allow you to do that. Now, next up, this unit. I love this unit. I really do, but he's a bit disappointing. We're gonna talk about it, right? Now, he is mainly a stun unit in my eyes. That is his main and only use. That has very little gimmicks that I do actually really like. Now, first of all, he has a bleed guaranteed and then 50% chance to stun when there is a bleed. So basically, you would apply bleed, or someone else would, and then you would try to get your stun off. So it's like single target, try to stun. It's pretty good. Could be useful for the Raya fight, right? I think this unit is actually going to be very good in combination with Julius just to get your guaranteed stuns. I'm going to probably try that team out this season. We'll see how that goes. Now, anyway, basically, his main part of his kit is the miscalculations. Miscalculations will make it that when you use your special move, you'll be able to do an additional attack up to 3 times, right? Now, this skill also gives increased penetration and accuracy, which if it was attack and like speed, I think this unit would be much better. But hey, I guess they couldn't really do that. Now, this is the main part of his kit, right? Of course, depending on how many miscalculation stacks you have, you will get an additional attack up to, which is 80%, which does not feel like 80%, but whatever. Anyway, it does a guaranteed stun, and he has a speed of 104, so it's honestly pretty good. Now, the main part of his kit, the main reason why I thought he would be good, and I did a video on his max dupe because the new game mode does allow you to use units at max dupe for free without having the max dupe. Now, basically what it is that it's so sad. If you have 3 stacks of the miscalculation, the last hit, the last stack, if you get that 3rd stack, will give you a 500% increased damage buff, which is not as crazy as it sounds because, well, I guess it is, but not really. If it was 500% attack, it would be much better. But because it's increased damage, if you're doing like 5k damage, it's only going to go up to 25k, right? So if this was by base, like 500% attack, it would have been much better. But I feel like the increased damage leaves it to where it's much more RNG than if it was like 500% attack. Because if you have like, I don't know, 30k attack, right? 30k, 30,000, then you have like the 84% William buff, so times 1.84, right? That's 55,000. Then you would times that by 5 because of the 500%. That would do like 276k, right? They couldn't do that, so that's why the increased damage is honestly worse than just outright attack, because of the fact that it's like, okay, I'm doing, let's say 5k, or oh, it will be nice, 10k. times it by 5, oh, it's only 50k, right? So I think that's the problem with it, that it's increased damage, and it doesn't end up doing a lot of damage. It's a big number, but it's all it is. That's the thing. Now, I do think he has a use with the stun to be on a stun team. You run Julius guaranteed stun, he has a guaranteed stun. And what I do like though is that he gets increased stamina every time he's attacked by 20% is insane. It's a lot. That's a lot, right? So to me, this is huge. This is honestly really huge. It does go pretty nice if just his attacks did a lot of damage, right? But they don't really. Now, another thing to mention also, like, it does 50% attack up to 60, 110. 110% at max attack and magic attack is pathetic, especially when the additional attacks barely do damage. Now, what I want to mention is that I thought that, like, okay, you got to get dupes in him for him to be good, because then you're able to get the 3 stacks and then get this 500%, which what I thought at the time was attack buff, right? But no, it doesn't really do that much getting those 3 stacks. And yeah, no, he's very worthless. When obviously this is with the skill page only. You need the skill page to get this 500% damage, but the main use for me, in my eyes, is you get that stun off, and then you basically win the game. You either save the stun for when you want to re-stun like Noelle or something to make it so she doesn't shield, or Rades to make sure he doesn't stop stuns. And then yeah, like, that's his main use. And right now there's no other guaranteed stun units, but the minute another person has a guaranteed stun, he's done. It's just that guaranteed stuns are so rare. This is the second one we have in the game, which is why he's good in my eyes. Not amazing. I think I'd rank him high A, low S. Fuego maybe just S, like flat S. He's like S minus. He's like S, right? That's how I see it. Of course, I need to do more testing to really get a good feel for them, or just like understand their placement. Because right now, for defense, these 2 units, by the way, are pathetic. You don't want to use them, but anyway. So that's the problem. I can't really do too much testing in defense. Obviously, counting defense, these guys are like fucking B tier, because this guy, you don't know if they're going to use their shield, not use their shield, right? You can't really know it. And then for him, if he doesn't stun the right unit, or stun someone, or attack someone who's already stunned, then he's pathetic, right? So that's my thoughts on those 2. Now, Charlotte. This girl is actually very good. I think that people are rating her. I think they're underrating Jack, overrating Charlotte, and I don't think she's bad, right? I don't think she's bad. Actually, I do think she is pretty good. But saying I think her being the best is fair to say. But with what I've seen, I think people are giving her too much credit. Maybe I feel like now it's just I don't vividly remember what people have been saying. I haven't really seen much, because Black Clover Mobile is not a hot topic in the first place. So it's like first day you see stuff, then afterwards not really. Now, she gets AoE counterattack, which does seem good, but overall it's not it. I think that it could be good in some instances, but it's very situational. Now, why I'm saying this, and it's also the fact that I'm counting for meta. This unit is not really meta, because of the fact that if you're really running meta, or a meta team, there's many meta teams you could run, but I don't think she would be on any of them. Because what you would do instead of just getting this is usually, okay, let me explain. Usually you have 2 DPSs on a team, 1 or 2. You could easily get those 2 DPSs to counter without Charlotte. William gives it to one person, Noelle chooses the other person with her blessing. They both have counter, boom. Now, this counter is very good for AoE if you want to run it in terms of having counter for multiple turns. Pretty sure this at max stoop makes it so that the counter is 2 turns, which is very nice. But when you have to max stooper though. But how I see you would use her is you would first off use the increased all attack and then total defense, which is pretty actually very good. Which it blocks up to 30% of damage, very nice. You would use this all attack buff, and then Noelle would get her shields off, William would shield, whatever your team it is, and then she would use the counter the turn after, so that the counter stays for a while. Then everyone gets a counter, and it's all good. Now, it's also that her speed is very high. It starts off at 120, goes up to 126 max stoop, but the thing is, she's not worth max stooping in my opinion, so I don't think you should be. So her speed's going to be stuck at 120 forever, in comparison to Finral, who goes up, and Valtos, who goes up to 124, and William, who you could pull on any banner that goes up to 126, same as Charlotte. Now, this skill, I think, is actually quite useless. I think people were overselling it, because people were like, holy shit, silence. Yami has that skill. Oh my god, Yami has that skill. Total silence. Wait, that's not the same wording. Oh, yeah. So her silence, I think I was talking to Antelar, the owner of this the site, Pride Win. Let me see. So Yeah, here it is. This is the buff, or debuff that Charlotte applies if you have a full blue team, which is basically full blue team, then it applies silence for 1 turn. It only makes it so that they cannot use their skill 2, which is, yikes, bro. Yeah, no. Only making it skill 2 sucks. If it was even just, I would have wished it was ultimate instead of skill 2. Would have been chilling, bro. Would have been absolutely eating. But no, because it isn't, and it's only the skill 2 that gets silenced, it's not really that good because you're not really going to be stopping many things usually. It's not really stopping Noelle because, like, yeah, she can't use her skill 2. She's going to ult you now. I mean, it could be good, but I don't really think it's stopping too much having a full blue team. So I don't really think you should be running a full blue team. You might want to run Noelle with her, right? Stuff like that. So yeah, I think the passive here to me is usually not that worthful. Worthful is not a word. Worthful? There's no way worthful is a word. Is it? No. Worthful is a word? Is worthful a word? I guess it is. All right. Well, Jesus Christ, I'm actually losing it, guys. I'm actually losing it. Anyway, I don't think it's very worth using this. I can't get over that. I can't get over that. Anyway, I do think the AoE counterattack when you have a level 5 is very good. I'm going to try it out more and see how it works, but I think that this all attack increase is very nice. It's 60%, which is wild. AoE 2. Then you get the total defense with skill page. She gives a counterattack. She's a very flat unit that doesn't do too much, but she does enough. I think that she's going to be pretty good. I'm going to try her out and see how I like her more and more and more. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use her skill 2 and then ult because she has a high speed. I'll be able to get the all attack increase, make Noelle busted, right? And then GG, right? That's kind of how I see it. Yeah, I think this unit is pretty good. And hey, these units is probably the most solid season besides season 1. Season 1 was pretty good. Red Os is still good. Seasonal Mimosa is still good. Blue Yami is usable. Season 2, Noelle's good. Season 3, I mean, Charmy's good. And then Season 4, I think you could use all of these units. You could use all 3 easily. They all have teams, so that's good. I like that they all have teams. Jack is not good damage-wise, but still has good uses because of his guaranteed stun. You don't understand, guaranteed stun is insane. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.